The lovely sound of the air conditioner working. Yesterday I got home and I heard that there was this weird popping sound inside the air conditioning machine. It's April here in South Florida and we just had a monumental rainstorm that came through. It flooded the airport in Fort Lauderdale International. A good amount of rain fell here, but not quite as much as up in Fort Lauderdale where they just had a bunch of bad luck. But either way, it was very humid and not really in the thick of summer, but definitely pretty warm outside. So I get home, I hear that the unit is running, and I hear that it's making these popping sounds. Now, a couple months back, this was making, some kind of clanging. It's kind of hard to describe, but it was because some bolts were loose and some things just need to get tightened, and there's nothing really wrong with the unit. But this time, I thought maybe it would be a similar thing. So I go up and I open the inside of the unit, and I spin the squirrel cage, as it's called, and I don't really see anything loose, so I decide to just turn on the fan while I have it open. Obviously I'm taking the kind of necessary precautions, and the fan doesn't go back on. I hear it click, I hear a hum, but the fan doesn't go back on. So I'm thinking, oh no, to not use a curse word. And then I button everything back together, thinking that maybe since the cover wasn't on it that was preventing it from going. I put everything back together, I try turning it on, nothing happens. I do hear the refrigerant. If you know that classic sound, you hear the kind of hissing sound of the refrigerant coming through the line. So I hear that, but the fan doesn't go on. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be good. So I just turned the fan on, I hear the click, I hear a humming sound, but no fan going on. So I go on to Trusty YouTube, the website where you're watching this video, and I see that one of the things that could be wrong is what's called a run capacitor. So I go up, and it's a cylindrical thing, and I go and look at it, and I see this. And this is the run capacitor that I found. And what those videos said is that if there's any kind of deformity in the shape, and as you can see, that is the shape of it, it will not work, or it's likely not working. So I used the multimeter, and let me just show you what that looks like. So here's the multimeter, and you're really supposed to use this with a special kind of meter that can measure capacitance, but you can also run it on a regular, just measuring resistance to see if there is a closed circuit. Now obviously, so we see it set on the ohms, the 200,000 ohms. We'll turn it down even to the next level, and we see that when there is a closed circuit, it's supposed to go down to zero, as close to zero as we can. But we see when I put it on this, there we go, I gotta wait for it to hold, we see there's no circuit. Now that's the obvious issue, is that this thing is bulging from all sides. We see that it's bulging from the top, we see that it's bulging from the bottom. This is supposed to be able to sit flat, but the bottom is bulging, so it can like rock back and forth. So it was clearly bad, and if you look at enough YouTube videos, you'll see one that'll say that if you get those symptoms of it clicking and humming but not going on, it's likely the capacitor. Some people also said that it could be the control board, but that was not the case. I'm going to cut away and show you what the inside of it looked. I wish I would have recorded a video, but obviously time was of the essence. I was trying to figure out a fix to this as quickly as possible before it really got hot, so I didn't really record a video. But this is the video I recorded when I had the unit opened up. So I hope that gave you a little idea of what that looks like opened up. And so I saw that the kind of capacitor that I would need to get is this, we have the part number right there, 97F9602. We see as a rating of 20 UF. I know there's a rating of microfarads, but then there's the UF, and then of 370 volts. So the first thing I did, when I saw that this was definitely broken, I didn't know if there was going to be other issues in the unit, but the capacitor was definitely no bueno. I looked up this part number, and here's what I found. On Amazon, we see they have this part number, 97F9602. Everything looks exactly the same. So this looks great, and we see it's only $13.03. But the problem is that it wouldn't. We see that today it's the 14th, so this problem happened yesterday, the 13th. This wouldn't come until April 20th. Now that is a long. Now it could come faster, obviously, but that is a long time to go without AC in the middle of South Florida, getting into spring and summer, where we see currently, let's say it says 79. I think it's actually hotter than that. Let's see, it's 82 degrees, and it's about to be sunset. So it's hot, it's humid outside. We definitely want some AC. So last night I didn't have any AC because this whole problem started, just after 5 o'clock when I turned off the unit and tried looking at it. So there was no way I was going to be able to get anything last night, short of calling an AC contractor, which would probably charge at least a couple $100 just to come out, and I wasn't about to do that. So what I did was I went on. Now obviously I've never really dealt with an issue like this. I've done car stuff, I've done contracting, or like construction work and things like that. We can see some of the things that I've searched for there. So let's look for a 20. Now let's do MFD to UF, because that's going to become important. Technically, MFD and UF are equivalent. However, one is more compact than the other. A microfarad is equivalent to 0.001 MF, where a millifarad is 1000 UF. So I guess the capital one, but either way they're equivalent. So this thing that says 20 UF, which is a millifarad, what is the UF? What is that one actually? Oh, this website's blocked due to malware. Okay. The question is MFD, where is MFD millifarad microfarad? But what about the capital letter? Let's do MFD to UF. It says the same thing. Let's do 20 MFD to UF. MF to UF. MFD, millifarad. I don't know. Either way, it's the same. So you're looking for the same number. I don't know where I can find this. Okay, so here's what I use. Microfarad to UF. So if I put 20 UF into there, it's 20 microfarad. So the same thing. All right, so this wasn't going to work. So what I did was I looked for a 20 UF MFD. See there, it uses both. 370 volt. And let's just do a Google search for that. And we see it gives me some that show up here. And now all these would things that come online. We can see this one is actually coming from this North America HVAC. And visit the North America HVAC. So these guys, North America HVAC, if you look up, we'll put in that part number 97F9602, and we see exactly right there and they're selling it $14.99. So you get actually a little bit of a deal on Amazon for whatever reason. So I went to shopping, Google Shopping, and I wanted to see available nearby. Then the things that come up, we have Grainger Industrial, and it looks like 370 volts, 20 MFD, so that was nice. And then it said Ace Hardware, but this one's 15 MFD. So I checked out Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware didn't have the same one. So Grainger Industrial, and this actually ended up being the one I got. They had it, and fortunately, there was one right within the area. So I went this morning, I picked one up and installed it. It was a little smaller, so it's smaller in diameter. So what I ended up doing is just wrapping it in aluminum foil to make it fit some people, they say, oh, you can pinch the metal band, but just in case this one goes, and then we go and get the bigger one, the metal band isn't destroyed. So I just put some aluminum foil around it, and it made it nice and snug, plugged it back in, and we have perfectly working AC. So here's the box of it, and it came out great. So this problem started last night, and you can actually put in an order online and then select pay to pick up. So if you do pick up, let's see, and then I'm going to do add to cart, and then we will view the cart. Let me make sure no information is going to be on there. Okay, so we could see this is where I picked it up. So they had one in Miami, and then you could do the pickup. And it's a good thing I caught it yesterday, because if I would have caught it today, I would have been stuck until Monday. So it just worked out in time where I was able to go pick it up today, and it worked great. So I only went one night without AC, and yesterday there was some rain, so the place didn't get too hot. What it did was get pretty humid in here, but now it's feeling a lot better. So Grainger, I've always seen those commercials in front of YouTube videos where it's like, Grainger, for those who get it done. I'm like, oh, get out of here, Grainger. But Grainger actually came in handy. So thank you, Grainger, for being able to sell this and to the public, and allow me to fix this for even cheaper than what Amazon. So we see $7.44. We see here the unit price and the tax and shipping. So the total was just under $8 to fix this problem, and fix it in less than 24 hours. So that was a big help. This is a story. I wish it was a more technical video, but there's plenty of videos that show you how to, and I mean, it's pretty easy if you're able to narrow down. Obviously, if you open it up, even if your AC unit is working, if you open it up and your capacitor looks like this, I would order one. And even if it doesn't look like this, I would open it up, see what it is, order it anyways, just to have one on hand. So if it does go out and you're caught in a situation, maybe you don't have a Grainger or someone who sells it near you, or it's Amazon or whatever, you have one on hand coming up in the summer. This is probably a good thing to do, to have one of these and check. There's going to be two of them. There'll be one of them for your air handler, and then one of them for your compressor, and they'll probably be different. So there's plenty of videos that explain how they work, what the ratings is. That will give you more of that, but this is just a little PSA. Order a couple of these. Like I said, one for your air handler, one for your compressor, because you need both of them working. Without the compressor, it'll blow hot air. Without the air handler, it won't blow any air. So have a couple of these on hand, at least one spare for each, and that may save you in a pinch on a hot summer day. Thanks for watching.